श्रुति स्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवत् व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुः सुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः। Okay. Deepa. We'll chant from number 4. Yada hinendriyartheshu
यदा हिनेन्द्रियार्थेषु
न कर्मस्वनुषज्यते
न कर्मस्वनुसज्जते
सर्वसंकल्पसन्न्यासी
सर्वसङ्कल्पसन्न्यासी
योगारूढस्तदोच्यते
योगारूढस्तदोच्यते
उद्धरेतात्मनात्मानम्
उद्धरेत् आत्मनात्मानम्
नात्मानमवसादयेत्
नात्मानम् अवसादयेत्
आत्मैव ह्यात्मनो बन्धुः
आत्मैव ह्यात्मनो बन्धुः
आत्मैव रिपुरात्मनः
आत्मैव रिपुरात्मनः
बन्धुरात्मात्मनस्तस्य
बन्धुरात्मात्मनस्तस्य
येनात्मैवात्मना जितः
येनात्मैवात्मना जितः
अनात्मनस्तु शत्रुत्वे
अनात्मनस्तु शत्रुत्वे
वर्तेतात्मैव शत्रुवत्
वर्तेतात्मैव शत्रुवत्
जितात्मनः प्रशान्तस्य
जितात्मनः प्रशान्तस्य
परमात्मा समाहितः
परमात्मा समाहितः
शीतोष्ण सुख दुःखेषु
शीतोष्णसुखदुःखेषु
तथा मानापमानयोः
तथा मानाप्यमानयोः
ज्ञानविज्ञानतृप्तात्मा
ज्ञानविज्ञानतृप्तात्मा
कूटस्थो विजितेन्द्रियः
कूटस्थो विजितेन्द्रियः
युक्त इत्युच्यते योगी
युक्त इत्युच्यते योगी
समलोष्टाश्मकाञ्चनः
समलोष्टाश्मकाञ्चनः
सुहृन्मित्रार्युदासीन मध्यस्थद्वेष्य बन्धुषु
सुहृन्मित्रास्य
सुहृन्मित्रारि
सुहृन्मित्रारि
उदासीन
उदासीन
मध्यस्थ
मध्यस्थ
द्वेष्य बन्धुषु
द्वेष्य बन्धुषु
सुहृन्मित्रार्युदासीन
मित्रायुदासीन
सुहृन्मित्रार्युदासीन
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 मध्यस्थद्वेष्य बन्धुषु
मध्यस्थद्वेष्य बन्धुषु
साधुष्वपि च पापेषु
साधुष्वपि चापे पापेषु
समबुद्धिर्विशिष्यते
समबुद्धिर्विशिष्यते.
So we were looking at this shloka number 9 last time, where Sri Krishna is telling us how a wise person responds to different types of people, how a wise person views different types of people. Okay. And first we are looking at what these people are. So Suhrid, we saw that a couple of times now. So Suhrid, one who helps others without expecting anything in return. Then Mitra is a friend. Ari is an enemy, somebody who has the tendency to do harm to others and to oneself. That person is referred to here as an Ari. Then Udasina, one who is neutral, who doesn't get involved at all. That person is an Udasina. So if two people are fighting, then the Madhyastha, the arbitrator, may come and try to resolve the issue. But then this Udasina won't do much. Maybe the best thing he will do is he will thank both of them for offering a good fight. Okay, that person may do that. Thank you for the entertainment, he might say that. But that person is an Udasina. Then Madhyastha arbitrator, we saw that Maheshji mentioned that word. Arbitrator is the right word for Madhyastha. And then Dveshya is the next person. Dveshya. And then Bandhu is the last word in that first line. So we need to look at that. Dveshya means one who deserves our dvesha. Means one who generally dvesha. What is dvesha? Our dislike. Raga dvesha, same word dvesha, right? Here also dveshya. Dveshya means the object of dvesha is called a dveshya. Correct? Look at how Sanskrit works. And so one word you can transform it in various ways, which means different things. So dvesha is dislike or hatred in the extreme case. And dveshya is the object of hatred, object of dislike. Is it dveshya? And we saw similar words before. Ashocyananvasochastvam. Correct? We talked about what a sochya is. Before we started talking about what an asochya is, we talked about what a sochya is. What is a sochya? Sochitum yogyaha. So object of shocha, object of sorrow. I am sorrowful. What are you sorrowful? What are you sad about? That about. Underline that. Whatever follows that about is a sochya. We saw that before. And so anything that causes me sadness is a sochya. So here, same thing, dveshya. One that the object of my dislike, object of my hatred is called dveshya. So that's fine. So we have so many likes and dislikes. Krishna himself said, this one, what is it? He said, Indriyasya indriyasyarthe ragadvesho vyavasthito. Therefore, every object in this world is either an object of my like or an object of my dislike. And so, or an object of my udasinatvam. I'm indifferent to so many things in this world, but there are certain things I have like for and certain things I have dislike for. So those objects of dislike are called dveshya. And then bandhu. Bandhu. Bandhu means relative. General translation of the word bandhu is relative. But it includes father, mother onwards, son, daughter onwards, husband, wife, everything it includes. Generally, when we say, oh, my relatives are visiting us, visiting me, visiting us. Oh, nice, good, nice to have relatives. Pandemic been 1.5, 2 years now. People no visits, nothing, and so it's good to have relatives at home. Who is visiting? My son is visiting with his wife. Okay, nobody says. I've not heard anybody say. I don't know about you people that you talk like that, but so far I have not heard something like that. So when they say relative, they don't include this very close family, right? The 3 or 4, they don't include that among relatives. They are even more than relatives. But here we should include bandhuhu, means anybody who's related to us. And so all, including the closest relationships, the next of the kin, including all of them. Bandhuhu. And why Krishna is including bandhu here? Well, these are all our people in our lives. He's categorizing society into this many people. Society has people. And these people can be any of this. And he doesn't stop there. He's continuing in the second line. Sadhushu. Okay, second line you have to split. And the way to split is sadhushu api cha papeshu. The sadhu. Sadhu is one who follows dharma. That person is called a sadhu. And colloquially, it can be used for a sannyasi, and it can, generally, and colloquially, it can be also be used in our Tamil Nadu. They use the word sadhu for a person who is harmless. Amaramba sadhu, like that we say. I don't know if it's there in your particular language and this thing. Sadhu means you won't harm anybody. It's very amaramba sadhu. Sadhu means that's it. Sometimes derogatory also. Sadhu, he doesn't know how to take care of himself. He's very sadhu, and he doesn't know how to ask for what he wants also. Hey, you must at least ask for it. You must say something. That also he doesn't. Poor fellow, that kind of. Now here not poor fellow. Here sadhu means dharma. Dharmika, person who's a dharmika and follows the shastram, because Vaidika is also the context. So a person follows the Vedika dharma, Vaidika dharma he follows. That person is a sadhu. And then papeshu, papa. The next word is papa. Papaha. So papaha here means papi. Papa means papi. Papi means one who has in his resume, the person who has some papas that he can list. That person is called a papi. And papi. So then he says, no, I have not, what papa I have done? No, you've done drugs and all that. Okay, drugs, but Shastram doesn't say you should not do drugs. It only says suram na pibet. Suram na pibet means don't consume alcohol. Okay, that's what it says. And so I don't consume alcohol. But Shastram does not say don't have heroin and cocaine and all these things. So that person. So not that way. That fellow cannot give that kind of excuse, because this Surana Pibet, see, this is where our we have to thank all our thinkers. They decide when something should be taken literally or something should be interpret. Suram is alcohol. Hey, don't take alcohol because it has the potential to ruin families and ruin yourself first of all, and then family and this and that. So don't take alcohol. Just leave it aside. And then the argument about alcohol. It's a little bit of alcohol is good for you, and little bit of wine is good for you. All these arguments people give. And okay, you are welcome to do what you want. And Shastram doesn't, poor Shastram, it doesn't, it leaves us to do whatever we want. And and then we come to Vedanta class and we scratch our head. And this is what happens. On top of that, alcohol also. We are trying to find ways to help ourselves here. Uddharet Atman Atmanam. So part of the Uddharet is okay, keep all this alcohol and other things, smoking, cigarettes, all aside, and find a way to get out of those habits, because the attention should be on the Shastram. And so that person who has committed things, dharmic acts, um, is considered a papi. And so too many ideas are coming, so I'm trying to see which one to say. And so Swami talks about why somebody commits a crime. Even Krishna talked about it, right? So Arjuna's question was there, and then to which Krishna said, Kama yesha krodha yesha rajoguna samudbhava. That kama is there, and then krodha. And so this mixture, potent mixture, toxic mixture is there, because of which a person does this papa karma. And like our favorite Duryodhana, okay. And so that pressure, inner pressure is there, that forces a person to act in a way the person already knows the person should not act. So it is not absence of knowledge, it's not absence of knowing what is right wrong knowledge is there, yet I am forced to do something that is hurtful to myself, hurtful to others. Okay, very clear. I know I'm going to jail and still I perform this act. This is how it works. Very sad. And so, of course, there's a lot of psychology involved in this. And sometimes it can be as simple as papi doesn't mean committing crimes and murders and all that. Papi can be just repeat offenders, constantly abusing family members physically or emotionally. All this is papa karma and not good at all. It's enough, hurting the family members. That's where our challenge lies, right? We are very kind when it comes to strangers. We're very kind, unknown people and all. We're very kind. Oh, how can I help you? All that we do. Do you ever say, how can I help you to our husband and wife? We have to think about that, and you stay in that room, I'll stay in this room. Okay. We should give ourselves some space, that's how we are. So that's okay, nothing wrong. It's good sometimes, very good. But this is where the challenge is. And so sometimes Swamiji says this sense of rebelling comes, and no, I will not do that. And so seeking attention, all these things are there. There's a lot of psychology involved. And I remember when I was studying in IIT, and in the third year or something, then my classmates, some of them started smoking. And so they started, and then evening time, some 3-4 people gathered, 1 or 2 started smoking. And it's a bit of a, for us, it's a bit of a shock for some people. And for others, it's like, oh, okay, smoking. What do you do? What do you say to this kind of situation? One of my friends, he said, you know what he said? He said, you guys are smoking because you seek recognition. Point blank, he said this. You want some recognition. That's why you want everybody to say, oh, look, he's smoking. Oh, look, he's a big guy. That kind of, some kind of, dad, he's a dada, You want that kind of title. That's why you guys are smoking, is what he said. I still remember that statement that he said, my friend said. He used to live, stay just 2 rooms away from me in the hostel in Chennai. And so recognition, so seeking attention. See, that's why all these things, childhood is such a important phase of a person's life. And how all these rebelling and trying to do things that are foolish, despite all the education we have. This is a common problem, challenge everywhere for parents, for teachers, everywhere. So it's a problem. So that pressure comes up and that gets released later on in all these various forms. So so our outlook has to change here. Our outlook has to change. And there is a see, we push our children to do all kinds of things. We want them to do, come on, do well, do well. No, it's not enough. This is not enough. And so the poor child is trying the best. And finally, it ends up doing all kinds of nonsense in college. And the parents are shocked. And child wanted to do painting. And she's very good at painting. And parents decided painting is not good for you. You are not going to do painting. Stop spending time in that room. We're not going to buy you anymore all the sheets and paint and this and that. And poor child, she is doing whatever she does. And the trauma, it won't come now. The child can handle it. But later on, only the trauma gets manifested. Correct? Later on. And so, and the child, see, the people who are very creative, they may appear eccentric also. Correct? Yeah, Mahesh says smoking was a cool thing once upon a time. Correct, cool thing. And so here painting, these people can be eccentric. At least they may be viewed as eccentric. And so they say, no, you're not going to do music, you're not going to do painting, you're not going to. So there is a famous statement that comes to my mind. I'd rather have, see, there is a painter called Van Gogh. Okay, Van Gogh, and you have Van Gogh's paintings, Italian painter, I think. And so I'd rather have a Van Gogh on the wall than in my family. Correct? Van Gogh, oh, that's a Van Gogh. So if today I'm going to give a different example. Oh, that's a Ravi Verma. That's a Ravi Verma means what? That's a Ravi Verma painting. Ravi Verma painting is equal to Ravi Verma. That's a Ravi Verma. Yeah, that's a Ravi Verma. What about your son Ravi Verma? What happened to that? No, that's not no painting business in our home. Okay. So this is how our thinking has become. We've got to just change all that. So see, Vedanta is there, but now you understand why Krishna is talking about all these things. We got to take care of all these basic problems. Only then Vedanta will work. And it's not difficult. It's not difficult at all. And so here, that attitude, that doing papa karma comes, and we have to address all these issues. And so here Swamiji takes the time to mention that the word papi, all these words are all labels. Correct? Labels. Idiot. You're an idiot. You're insane. So these words, paityam, constantly using the word muttal, paityam, idiot, bewakoof, and all your languages. I don't know so many languages, only Hindi, little bit words I know. So bewakoof and all this, and keep on telling our child, using these words to the child, and the child starts believing that also. I'm an idiot. I'm no good. Correct? So this idiot and all that. Swamiji says it's a label. Why it's a label? Because okay, I label somebody as an idiot. Then what? Okay, idiot means what? Why you are calling him an idiot? Well, he is very clumsy. Very clumsy. He doesn't know how to put on his shoes. He doesn't keep his room clean. Okay. He doesn't have a good handwriting. Some list of things will be there. Okay. Fine. 5 things are there. He does not do properly. Therefore, he is an idiot. Okay. What about eating? Does he eat properly? Yeah, he eats properly. Does he eat through the mouth or he eats through the ear? No, he eats through the mouth only. Oh, so he knows how to eat. Okay. So what about nutrition and all that? The food. He's actually pretty good. He's very cautious about what he eats and all that. Really, that's a good thing. Is that also part of the idiocy, or it's not part of idiocy? No, no, no. That's not idiotic. That's very smart. That's a very wise thing to do. Oh, okay. So he does certain things that are good, that are proper, and things like that. What else? Does he play any games, sports, and all? Yeah, he likes to play games, sports. Oh, is that also idiot? Is that also an idiot's job or what? No, no, that's not an idiot's job. Oh, so he does a lot. Does he know how to take a shower, take a bath? Yeah, he does that well. Okay. Oh, so there are a lot of things. Does he get up properly in the morning? Yeah, he gets up in the morning. 6 o'clock sharp, he gets up. Wow, that itself is amazing. Many kids don't want to get up in the morning. So he's doing so many things good. And you're calling him an idiot? How? Label. Idiot is a label. Insane. Person is insane. Insane is a label. Okay. These labels are there. And so this he says, Swamiji says, we label people and then put everybody in a bracket. And then we have to deal with those brackets. He says our life is all dealing with our own definitions of people, our own categorizations of people. And then that's our own world. They say he lives in his own world. This is our own world of definitions. And then Krishna says, Samabuddhir Vishishyate. In all these people, Samabuddhihi Vishishyate. He says, Samabuddhi. Samabuddhihi means he. How are you going to translate this? He treats all of them equally. A papi is to be treated the same way. A criminal has to be treated the same way as a sannyasi. That doesn't sound right. Well, nobody should be judged. He will not judge anybody. He knows, she knows very well. Hey, papa karma, a person is given to crime, but it doesn't mean that person is a criminal. The word criminal means every second of the day he's committing crime. He's a crime person. And there is no hope for this person. There is no way he will ever not do a crime. This guy, somebody can be called a criminal, but really there is no such person in this world. Therefore, they say there is no criminal in this world. There is only a person who is given to crime. Person who is given to crime, like Duryodhana, given to crime, given to adharma. Okay, important distinction to make. That does not mean the wise person will allow criminals to go scot-free. If the wise person is a judge, what will the judge do? Compassion. Compassion is there for everybody. Everybody. But you have to pay for your acts. That is part of the compassion. That is part of the compassion. Hey, if I let you go free, then we are setting a bad example here. That means I am not compassionate to the people who will suffer if I let you go free. Correct? So only compassion is there. And so that person has a samabuddhi. Samabuddhi does not mean that person does not know how to differentiate a suhrit from a papi, or how to differentiate a sadhu from a papi. Okay, so that kind of a person, where only for that person relationships will be dynamic. Correct? Dynamic means the person is relating to who you are now. Okay, is not bogged down by baggage. Oh, you did this 10 years ago, you did this 5 years ago, and this and that. Baggage, baggage. We all have a lot of baggage and we carry it. So can I deal with you as a person you are right now? That relationship. That is a dynamic relationship. But because of my own insecurities, my own fears, what happens? I label people, I put people in certain brackets, and I judge them, etc. And what's ironic about judging is, and a judge is the one who actually does not judge people. Did you think about that? When I was thinking about this, suddenly struck me, my God, a good judge is one who doesn't judge anybody. No preconceived notions, and gives them a long rope and watches them, how the person responds, what did he do, why did he do, and motivation, this, that, everything. Only when all the dots are lined up, only then the person issues an order, issues a decree, right? And called a judge. But really speaking, we are the judges. The judge is not a judge. That's what I was thinking. Because the good judge cannot be judgmental. Correct? The judge is never judgmental. Okay. So, so there is that thing here, and and Swamiji says all these judgments of people comes from my own judging myself. I judge myself. That is how it starts. Judgment starts. Only then I start judging people. Correct? I judge myself. I am no good. I am this. I am that. And or I am too good. Nobody can beat me. People should respect me for my accomplishments. Or I am a failure. I'm unlucky all the time. So these are all judgments that we don't need, unnecessary judgments. And so from the self judgment comes the world judgment. And it's important because all this is all conditioning. It's all conditioning because Shastram is going to say, you are what you're seeking. How am I going to assimilate this? How am I going to accept the statement first? So accepting that comes only when I'm relatively free already. I must be free already in order to accept this statement. Correct? The statement should come and say, yes, there cannot be anything else like this. That should strike that that kind of a conviction I can get only if I am relatively free from all these emotional problems. And therefore, Swamiji says Vedanta is the best. Yeah. Vijay, what's it?
Audio is breaking in between.
Audio is breaking. Okay. I hope it's not the. Okay. This one seems to be charged. Let's look at this. Okay. So I was saying, because of all these conditionings that we have, we are all conditioned. Vedanta is purely a deconditioning process. Correct? Deconditioning, constantly deconditioning. And if I decondition myself completely, what will remain? The fact that I am Brahma. That's all will remain. Nothing. Everything else, all things become notions for me. Notions. And I'm traveling, I'm seeking something, and then all that will slow down. All that will just, I become calm. And then I'm ready to accept this teaching. And it just sticks to me. And like duck jumps to water, duck takes to water, I will take to Vedanta, and it becomes natural to me. And so even in the 5th chapter we saw something similar. Suhrun Mitra Yudasina Madhyastadveshya Bandhushu. And any of you can recall a similar shloka we did in the 5th chapter. Similar shloka. Okay. So we saw it. We may have forgotten. So 18, look up verse shloka number 18 in the 5th chapter. What does it say? Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavi Hastini Shunichaiva Swapakecha Pandita Samadarshinaha. Same shloka. Here also it is exactly the same. Only difference is there. All species are included. Different species are included. Here, one species only, human being, and different types of human beings are. That's the only difference. Correct? And so, Samadarshinaha, same thing. Samabuddhihi Vishishyate. Samadarshi means one who sees the same everywhere. We can look at it two ways. One is the Tattvataha, means based on the truth. Everybody is Brahma, everything is Brahma, every object is Brahma, every human being is Brahma. Therefore, Samadarshi. Yet the person knows, people have to follow dharma, etc. And so the person is not stupid enough that he just accepts whatever, all actions are identical. No, actions have their repercussions and one has to be responsible. So that clarity is there. But Samadarshi. And that's why Swamiji, I used to watch satsangs. Being in a satsang with Swamiji is amazing. Any Swamiji, I mean, And we have to watch, because in a satsang, the beauty is anybody can ask any question, correct? It can be a private, personal question. It can be about society, about the country, corruption, or it can be about Vedanta. It can be Bhagavad Gita. It can be Upanishad. Anything under the sun. Anything under the sun. What do you think of environmental pollution? Anybody can ask the question. So Swamiji cannot say, I don't know anything and all that. I don't know anything, he can say. But generally, that person who knows, who is aware of what's going on, will give some answer. A different insight will be there. So therefore, I used to learn that. He never used to simply praise Vedanta and this and that. Satsang is open for everybody. There are people in the satsang who are not even attending classes. So you can't give a lecture. You can't convert a satsang into a lecture. Correct? That's the beauty of satsang. And so I've learned a lot from Swamiji in that aspect. Whether I'm following it or not, I don't know. But a point I'm trying to say here is that address the person. Person is asking. There is some concern coming out of a person. Address that concern. That's all. That's all is expected of you. That's all. You're not asked to give a big lecture on anything here. That's all. That's all. This is what Swamiji used to do. And if you don't ask anything, any advice, he won't give advice also. That also is there. Don't give advice when it is not warranted. That also. So samabuddhihi vishishyate. That samabuddhi, that samadarshi of 518 is the same word used here. And so very this judgment and all. I mean, a story comes to my mind. I probably told the story to you, and I think it's worth repeating again. About how we judge people and things like that. So there was it's a story many of you will know, some of you may have not heard, and it's the story about the teacher. Okay, a teacher. How many of you think they know what I'm going to talk about? Okay, so Swapna is raising her hand. Okay, all right. So Mrs. Johnson. So it's better to use the example. I read it in this format, so I want to repeat it the same way. Okay. Mrs. Johnson was standing in her 4th grade class. She's teaching 4th grade students. And then she started the class with a lie. She said, I love all of you. That's what she said. That's how she started the class. And so it's a lie. She knows it was a lie, because right in the first bench, first seat, first chair was sitting a boy. Teddy was sitting. And Teddy is a boy who used to sleep in class, who never returned homework on time. Teddy used to give a lot of headache to the teacher. Therefore, and the teacher hated Teddy. Therefore, I love all of you is a wrong statement. And she started this class with a lie. Then this went on, and Teddy's answers papers sometimes whenever she used to grade, and then nothing worthwhile to grade here. And so she would put a F on the answer paper, fat with a red ink, fat F, then put a circle around it. She used to enjoy putting an F on the paper, and then, so that the boy can see, you make sure you understand what you're doing, right, boy? You're failing this exam. You failed the homework. You failed. Okay, better understand it. That's what she used to do. And then the time had come for the year-end review, and so this school maintains records of all children, past records, commentaries by teachers, principals, all that they used to maintain. So she said, okay, Teddy is not worth spending time on Teddy's records, but still, anyway, let's look at it. So she started looking from the 1st grade onwards. The 1st grade teacher had said, Teddy is a joy to be around. He is lively, and he responds to everybody, and he's a joy to be with. First grade teacher. 2nd grade teacher, Teddy does things properly, but he's disturbed. He's disturbed because his mother has terminal illness, and so he's uh, he needs attention, and that's how the second grade teacher has said. Third grade, what did the third grade teacher say? Teddy's Teddy is confused. He's he's sleeping in class. He's not paying attention, and he's missing exams. And he's a good boy, but the death of his mother must have been very hard on Teddy. Somebody must pay attention to Teddy. This is what the teacher saw, and this teacher, this Mrs. Johnson, when she was reading all this, she must have cried at least 1 hour in her office that day when she saw all this, because she was ashamed of herself. She said, "What? I didn't know this." And this boy, I was judging him in a way that's totally incorrect. So from the next day onwards, Mrs. Johnson told herself, "I'm going to now start teaching. So far, I did not know how to teach. Now I'm going to start teaching." So she started paying extra attention to Teddy, and she used to pay extra attention. "Come on, Teddy, what do you think?" And Teddy, what? Wow, what is that? Yeah, what happened? Come on. Did you enjoy the class? Yeah. So, and the more attention she was giving Teddy, Teddy was becoming more responsive. And then by the end of the year, end of the next year, Teddy did pretty reasonably well in the school, and better than last year for sure. And then Teddy came to Mrs. Johnson's office, and he said, "Mrs. Johnson, you are the best teacher I've had." And Mrs. Johnson, she wept when she heard that. And then time passed. And then Teddy graduated. And then Teddy said, she got a letter from Teddy one day. And Teddy said, "Ma'am, Mrs. Johnson, I've graduated high school, but I thought I should study some more. And so I've joined college, and I've joined medical school, etc." All this was there, and she was very happy. And then he said at the end of the letter, "Mrs. Johnson, you are still the best teacher I've had in my life." Time passes. Then another letter comes, and he says, "Mrs. Johnson, its life had been tough. My father passed away, and still I thought I must finish my medical degree because I wanted to be a doctor, and so I got my degree. And I also met a lady, and she's also nice person. So we decided to get married. And would you come to my marriage? Would you come? And also, would you? I don't have parents now, and so would you like to be? I want you to play the role of father and mother in my wedding." And so she saw that letter, and she wrote back saying, "Yeah, sure, I'll be there." And then wedding time comes, and wedding happens, and then this Teddy hugs the teacher, and she says, they're dancing. This is a Western thing, so they're hugging and they're dancing, And she said, "Will you dance with me?" "Yeah, I'll dance." And then both of them dance together. And then Teddy is whispering in her ear, "Mrs. Johnson, do you know what? You are the best teacher I've had in my life." And then Mrs. Johnson is with tears in her eyes. She's saying, "Teddy, you got it all wrong. You got it all wrong. You were the one who taught me how to teach." That she said. So what I learned from this is, look at how much potential there is. in our lives, correct? How much potential there is. And we are only limiting ourselves by our own thinking, correct? By our own judgments. One person's life, look at how it could be transformed just by a different attitude completely towards life. And so therefore samabuddhi is so important. And we have to find ways to look into ourselves, I think, and see where am I tending to judge people. So judgment is coming, I'm tending to judge people. Being assertive and pointing, telling people that you're wrong is not what we are saying. We should do that. In fact, we should be assertive and we should tell people this is not right, this is wrong, etc. We have to say. But judging people is where the problem arises. And so in fact, the less I judge, the more assertive I can be, correct? The more truthful I can be, and fearlessly truthful. Okay, truthful, but with I'm afraid to speak. That also is there. Okay, fine. First, with fear, I speak the truth. That's okay. That's a good start. Then, less I judge, the freer I am, and then life becomes simpler. Life becomes a lot simpler. And I've seen many people in my life who are like that as I grew up, and I used to be in awe of such people. And then, of course, after studying Vedanta, I realized the importance of such an outlook, such behavior, and importance of taking care of ourselves. Uddhared atmanatmanam, natmanam avasadaye. Don't judge yourself, because that's where all problems come. Don't condemn yourself. And so samabuddhihi vishishyate. And let's look at this shloka. Let's translate it. Okay. The one whose vision is the same, with reference to a suhrit, means benefactor, with reference to a benefactor, comma, a friend, comma, an enemy, comma, an acquaintance. Swamiji says acquaintance for the word udasina, comma, an arbitrator, comma, a person who evokes dislike, comma, a relative, good people, and even towards poppies. Sometimes translated as sinners, but I don't feel like doing it, comma, he or she is the most exalted. The one whose vision is the same with reference to a benefactor, a friend, an enemy, an acquaintance, an arbitrator, a person who evokes dislike, a relative, good people, and even towards sinners or towards poppies, he or she is the most exalted. So, Anvaya is fairly straightforward for this. Vishishyate is the verb.
Excuse me, sir. He or she, you say? Last.
He or she is the most exalted. EXALTED. most respectful, most worshipful, most exalted. Vishishyate. Yeah, Anvaya is the same exactly as it is mentioned in the shloka. Om Swasti Prajabhyah Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mahimahishaha Gobhramanebhyah Shubhamastu Nityam Lokas Samastas Sukhino Bhavantu Kale Varshatu Parjanyah Prithvi Sasyashalini Deshoyam Kshobarahitah Brahmanas Santu Nirbhayaः Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayaः Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschit Dukkha Bhag Bhavet Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritangamaya Om Purnamada Purnam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namah Om